Before we go, do we have any Muslim would like to call us? Last call. Mayday, Mayday. Last call. Any Abdul? Mayday, Mayday. No Abdul. All right. The Muslim now, they will go and they will say, Christian Prince, he stopped his podcast because he is scared. Just watch their text and you will see what they will say. Yes, Zahra. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Zahra, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Can you speak louder, please?
Yes, is this better?
Let me see, maybe it's from my side. I'm not sure why the voice. No, my speaker is all the way up. Okay, so what do you want to say to us, Zahra? Go ahead.
You challenged earlier, you had a challenge for us Muslims, right?
Okay.
If you choose like a chapter, could you go to chapter 109?
109. All right. Are you sure?
Yes, it's a very short chapter if you don't mind, like
No problem.
just going through the.
Okay, but this is your choice, right? You will not regret.
I won't.
Okay, guys, this is her choice. She will not regret. Actually, I say, and don't be offended. We made a challenge. You call me because of this challenge, correct? Don't cry, not like last time. You promised me you want to cry.
I didn't cry last night. Last time, I was emotional because I was reading the pact.
Okay, come on. Okay, here we go, guys. This is a chapter. Our sister Zahra here, she chose for us, and the challenge for me to prove it is stupid. Not only is stupid, it's beyond stupidity. Let me show you why. Say or disbelieve, or disbeliever, kafirun, kuffar. I worship not which you worship, nor you worship which I worship, and I shall not worship that you worship, nor you worship that I worship. Into you your religion, into me mine. Let me show you how.
From the Creator. This is a message to humanity from the Creator.
Okay, but this is stupid.
You will not be able to change another person's belief.
My friend,
and I saw in your chat many people are praying to become a Christian.
Are you going to cry?
I never become a Christian, just like many don't want to become a Muslim.
Are you going to cry?
I am very happy with my religion. I believe in the one Creator who is not a man, who is not a woman, who did not give birth.
Hold on. First of all, your God is a man. Don't change the topic. You call me to talk about the chapter.
No.
Okay,
the Arabic word is
here we go.
My Creator is not a man.
No, your God is a man. Don't lie. Here we go. This is the hadith in front of you. It's sahih. Your God is a man, and he look exactly as the following. He is short. He's hinted. He is woolly haired. He's not one-eyed. This is the description of your prophet, unless you are saying to me that your prophet is a liar.
That is concerning our prophet. Is concerning like the Antichrist.
Yes.
So
he is comparing between the Antichrist. Hold on. He is comparing between who? How the Antichrist look like and how Allah look like.
Antichrist will come and say that he is the Lord.
No problem. So, if Antichrist is a man, why Muhammad is worried that the Muslim will be confused about him? What he said, the only difference between him.
Antichrist will come and his agenda will come and say, first say to the people, follow me, I am Jesus.
Okay, no problem.
And then people won't believe him.
Guys, did you hear?
And then he'll say, I am God.
He will say, I am Jesus. So what the problem? He is a man. So why Muhammad saying, I am afraid that you will be confused about
him? You want, but we know, just go to the shortest surah, Ikhlas. It says, God does not forget.
One by one. Hold on. Don't change the topic. Don't change the topic. Why Muhammad is confused if this man will say, I am Jesus? Why this man, Muhammad, is worried that you Muslims are confused about him? You might think that this is Allah. And he is saying the only difference between him and Allah is one eye. How many eyes you God have?
We are taught not to have any pictures of our Creator, but we know that it is not like us.
No, you have. You have.
Our Creator is nothing like we've ever seen.
I'm not asking you about the picture now. I'm asking you how many eyes your God have.
I don't know, because we don't picture. We don't have any pictures of our Creator.
No, we know. Muhammad
the only time we'll see our Creator when we go
hold on
to paradise. But besides that, we don't know.
Listen, your prophet, he said you should know that your God is not one eye, so he should have more than one eye. Do you agree? At least
the Antichrist is described in Islam. He will come like one eye is blind.
You see, you are running away from the question.
No, I'm reading the hadith right now.
No, you are not reading the hadith. The hadith doesn't say the Antichrist is anti-Islam.
Dajjal is Antichrist.
First of all, Dajjal is not Antichrist. This is the stupid translator. There's nowhere in Islam believing in Antichrist. They believe in the Dajjal.
We believe in Dajjal. I am Muslim, right?
Yes, Dajjal.
We believe there will come an Antichrist.
Okay, no, he is not Antichrist.
Towards the end of time.
He is not Antichrist. He is the false Messiah, supposedly, not Antichrist. Dajjal means the liar, which means Christ the liar, the false one. Now, why you're a prophet here comparing between the look of the false Messiah and Allah? He should compare between the false Messiah and the real Messiah. Explain to us.
Because the Antichrist will come and say to the people that he is the Creator, that he is the Lord, that he is God, that he is Allah. And then the prophet is telling people, if he comes, just know your Creator does not look like this.
No, my friend.
He does not have one eye. He is not blind. We believe as Muslims, our Creator doesn't come to this world as a human, as a dog, as a changing forms. We believe that our Creator is above.
Hey, the gun machine. Let us talk together. We cannot like this. Don't keep going. Show me where it says that the Messiah will say he's Allah. The false Messiah, he will say, I am the Messiah. That's why his name is the false Messiah. His name is the false Messiah. He claimed to be the Messiah. So he will come and he claimed to be the Messiah. He don't claim to be Allah. Now, why Allah comparing between him and the look of him and the look of Allah? If Allah is not a man.
How many times I should explain to you? Did you not understand it? The 2 times I told you before.
When?
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, is telling us that the Antichrist Dajjal will come. And then he will tell people that he is the Creator, that we should follow him, like he is our Lord, we should follow him. But he's fake, he's not real.
Can you show me the reference that he will say that he is the Creator? And even if he says that, what does have to do with the look of the eye of this man and the look of Allah?
Because we know that the Antichrist is blind in one eye.
Okay, and Allah is not blind in one eye.
Our Creator, we don't know how our Creator looks, but we know that he's above that.
Listen,
our Creator is above any like you can compare everything, but we cannot never compare our Creator. We don't have any pictures. He's not white, he's not black. We don't know what he is.
You have a picture. Hold on.
Because the Arabic word for is a little bit different.
You are like a gun machine. You are crazy. You have mental issue. You cannot stop talking. Listen to yourself. Listen. How he don't have a picture, but your prophet is comparing between him and Allah. He did not compare between him and the Messiah. Let us say this guy, he says he is God. Why he is saying you should know that your God is not one eye?
What does that have to do? Peace be upon him.
This man, listen. This man, he will come.
Finish?
This man, no. This man will come as a man, or he will come in the look of a God.
Can I finish my sentence?
I know. I want to answer. This man will come in the look of a man, or he have a different look. What is his look? Is his look?
The Antichrist. He is not comparing. He's not comparing God to Antichrist. He's comparing like Antichrist is trying.
Let me show everybody how you Muslims run away. The look of the Antichrist. Do he look as a man, or he look like an elephant, or look like God? What he look like?
It's coming like a man.
Okay,
it's coming like a man.
Guys, did you hear this?
As a human being, but it's not God.
Okay, hold on. So why Muhammad is worried that you are confused about him, and he is saying that Allah is not one-eyed? If the man, he looked like a man anyway, how you will think that this is Allah? I mean, how stupid the statement is, unless Allah is a man too. And now we might be confused about the look of this man and this man. So if the man is coming as a man, what's the problem? Why the Muslim will think he's Allah?
You know what? I'll just refer back to the verse, the chapter that I just told you to read. For you is your religion, for me is my religion. I know, and every Muslim knows, and we believe our Creator is not a man and not a woman.
When you have an answer,
our Creator,
you
know Mathal A'la. You know Mathal A'la in Arabic?
Shut up. I have to hang up on you because you are a donkey now. She jumped in the verse to avoid answering. And I will go back to the verse, by the way, because we accept the challenge, and you chose the perfect verse to prove Islam to be false. Just wait. I asked her if the man the false Messiah will come as a man, or he will look like an elephant of God or God. He said, no, he will come as a man. So why Muhammad saying, if you are confused about him, read carefully with me. If you are confused about him, know that your Lord is not one-eyed. What is the only difference between this man and Allah? One eye. What's wrong with this eye? This eye have a defect. So Allah have the same look of a man. Otherwise, if he is coming as a man, why the Muslim would think he's a man? He's God. That's stupid. If you Muslim reject a God to be a man, then how in the world Muhammad is saying, if you are confused about him, you should know that your Lord is not one-eyed? Should be, he should say, you should know that Jesus or the Christ is not one-eyed, because this guy is taking the identity of Christ. In Arabic, there's nothing is called the Antichrist. This is a fabrication. In Arabic, it says Al-Masihud Dajjal, the false Messiah, Messiah the liar, which means he claimed to be the Messiah. He's not claiming to be Allah. That's number one. Number two, as you see Muhammad here, he described even how he looked like. He is short, blah 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 blah, and then he said, I'm afraid that you are confused about him. You should know that your Lord is not one eye. This is number one. Number two, you said that we don't worship a man. Let us see what your prophet he said. And I hope you are listening, Zahra. I will call you back, but because you are a talking machine, you don't stop. We cannot talk in the same time. If we go and see what your prophet said about Allah, look, we will find the hilarious Muhammad describing Allah. She said, we do not know how Allah look like. I can play for you tons of verses now and from the Quran and Hadith. Muhammad is speaking about the hands of Allah, the 5 fingers of Allah, the foot of Allah, the face of Allah, and they are literally, physically, literally parts. But look at this. Muhammad said that Allah will come to you in the judgment day in a shape, and you Muslims, when you see him first time, you are going to reject him. Look what happened. Allah will come to them in a shape other than the one they know, and will say, do you see the word shape? So your Allah confirmed to be a physical being, and all the Muslims, by the way, agree that he is a physical being. He have no spirit, he is not a spirit. So Allah will come to them in a shape. What shape is that? The Muslims do not know. And he will say, I am your Lord. The Muslims will say, we seek refuge with Allah from you, which means the Muslim, they consider Allah a devil because he changed his shape. I mean, how stupid the story is. You Muslims, you will accuse Allah to be a devil because he changed his shape, which means you Muslims, you worship a shape, you don't worship God. It doesn't matter what the shape is, you are consistent in only one shape you like. If you bring me different shape, I will not accept it. Even if Allah himself, he is the one who's coming to you, just he changed his shape, now you don't like him, you refuse him, and you say to him, we seek refuge from you by Allah, which means you are the devil, because the Quran says, and each time the shaitan he whispers into you, or he whisper into you, you seek refuge by Allah. This is a statement only used when you hear the voice of the devil. And then they will say to you, we will not follow you till our Lord comes to us. And then when the Lord come to us, we will recognize him. Allah then will come to them in a shape they knew, and they will say, I am your Lord. They will say, no doubt you are our Lord, and they will follow him. Now, is this about seeing a physical being? Yes. Read the verse hadith from the beginning. People, they ask, Muhammad says, shall we see Allah our Lord in the day of resurrection? He said yes, and he explained how easy it's going to be seen. And then he described that Allah have many shape. So now what we learn from this, that Allah have shape number 1, shape number 2. And this is against what Muslims, they always try to convince us that Allah is one. Because now what happened to shape number 1? Unless you are believing that Allah is a transformer, the same as we see in the movies. Shape number one, shape number two. When Allah became shape number two, what happened to shape number one? He put it in the closet. And what it does mean that Allah, he had a shape. That's mean he is a physical being, he is existing in space. Because he is not a spirit, as all Muslims believe. And as long he is exist inside the space, that means he is contained. And that's against what Islam teach, that Allah is above all things, nothing compared to Allah. But here we go, he is a shape inside. The second you say he's a shape, he's a shape. A mosquito have a shape, a cup have a shape, a ball have a shape, a house have a shape. Allah has a shape. Now, if we go and ask the Muslim scholars, and there's tons of videos made by Muslims, including Zakir Naik. Zakir Naik, he says Allah has a body, but how his body look like, we do not know. Thank you very much. So you are lying to us. You say to us, oh, this is not about describing Allah. No, it is about describing Allah. And Muhammad is telling you how you can recognize Allah. He's a man, and the only difference between him and this man is one-eyed. And we can see how many verses Muhammad he described Allah has a physical being, the Quran and the Hadith. Have you ever heard of a God he have a foot and it is a physical foot? You can go right now, search in Google, search in YouTube. Allah has a hand, Allah have a foot, Allah have a face, Allah have an eyes, Allah have 5 fingers. YouTube is full of videos made by Muslims. Yet when they speak to us, they deny them. Read with me what Muhammad said. The Prophet said, the people will be thrown into the hellfire, and it will say, are there any more to come? Till Allah puts his foot over it, and it will say, qati qati, enough, enough. You can go right now and search in YouTube for the video made by sheikhs about Allah have a foot, and they explain and they say, yes, this is a literally foot, a real foot. Allah have 5 fingers, Allah have 2 hands. And by the way, the hands of Allah is both in the right side, which is very funny God. So they lie to us and they say Allah is not like anything. I agree in certain way. Yes, like have you ever heard of somebody have 2 hands in the right side unless he have a defect, birth defect? And both of the hands of Allah are right hands. How stupid that statement is. So Allah have 5 fingers, Allah have 2 hands, Allah have face, Allah have 2 eyes. Allah is a human being. Allah is a physical being, but he is not a spiritual, which means he have no spirit. A human being, he have a spirit. Your God, Allah, is a statues. Now, we go back to the verse you challenged me to prove to you Islam is the most silly, stupid religion. And I will call you back. But because you are a person who don't stop talking, you are just a kid who have no idea what to say. And always Muslims, they go in panic. They keep talking because they will not let me talk so I can get them busted. This is the whole idea. The verses you gave me from the Quran in chapter 109 proving Muhammad big deal to be a false prophet. Why? Number 1, he said to them, I worship not what you worship, and this is absolute lie. The pagans of Kaaba, they worship Allah and he worship Allah. Number 2, if you remember the chapter where the satanic verses come into Muhammad, he bowed down to the idols and he said that the 3 goddess daughters of Allah, Manat and Allat and Al-Uzza, their intercession is hoped for, which means Muhammad, he worship the 3 daughters of Allah, if this is what it's meant. So yes, he worship what they worship. Then nor you worship what I worship, and this is again a proof Muhammad to be false, because later all the people of Mecca, they worship what he worship. If Muhammad is a prophet of God, he should not say such a statement, because this is a prophecy. And you will not, وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ, which means now and in the future you will not worship what I worship. And I shall not worship what you worship. And this is proven Muhammad again to be false prophet, because when he received satanic verses, he bowed down to the 3 daughters of Allah. And you are not worshiping what I worship, proving again that Muhammad had nothing to say. He's repeating the same sentence over and over. This is cannot be God. Already you said they will not worship what you worship. Why you are repeating the same again and again? The whole chapter have nothing to do except repeating the same thing. Let me make it simple for you. I will change one word. Instead of saying worship, I will make it eat. So I eat, all the kuffar. I eat not what you eat, and you will not eat what I eat, and I will never do eat what you eat, because you do not do eat what I eat, and you will never do eat what I eat, because I have my food, you have yours. If this is a chapter from God, then who is the stupid? This is God wisdom. And this is why when we ask her, is the Messiah is a human being or the false Messiah? And if Allah is a human being, she said the Messiah is a human being. So why Muhammad is worrying and comparing between the look of Allah and the look of a man? We do not need to know how. You do not need to compare between Allah and the man, because he's a man anyway. Why would we be confused about him to be God or not? I mean, you see how stupid this idea is? If Allah is not a man, why you are saying to me, be careful? Allah don't have one eye. Well, isn't it enough to know that he's a man anyway? And we Muslims, we should not worship a man. And by the way, we don't worship a man. You are a liar. Our Lord, he became a man, not the man became a Lord. It is you who worship a man. His name is Muhammad, and Allah is a lie. This is a verses made by Muhammad, proving him to be a stupid, silly again. Because how in the world he says, oh, you believer, I don't believe what you believe in, but in the same time he kissed the black stone. Isn't it isn't it the kuffar they believe in the black stone too? Isn't it the kuffar go around the Kaaba too? Isn't it the kuffar they worship Allah too? So how he don't worship what they worship? Then he says, no, you worship what you will worship. Isn't it Umar al-Khattab became a believer later? Isn't it Khalid bin Walid became a believer later? Isn't it all those, the Sahaba, the companion became a believer later? So how he said to them, you will not worship what I worship, and I will not worship what you worship, and later we prove that this is false, all of them became believers. So when I said I challenge any Muslim to show me one chapter in the Quran proving the Quran to be made by God, I was very serious. And Zahra, you fail. You're a prophet proved to be a false prophet. Now I'm going to call you back to give you a chance to answer. Please respect yourself and don't keep going so we can talk. We cannot talk over each other. I will give you 2 minutes to answer, and when the 2 minutes is over, please stop. I'm going to put the clock in the. Do I have a clock here? Let us see if I have a clock. Yeah, I have a clock. Let us see, where is the clock? I'm not sure. Yeah, I have a timer. Let me call you and I will put the timer on. I will give you 2 minutes. Please don't force me to hang up on you. 2 minutes to answer me, and let us see what you will say. Why your prophet, he said they will not believe in what he believed, and later all of them they convert to Islam. And what is the point of repeating the same sentence over and over and over? This is a person, you have nothing to say. Go ahead. Answer. She did not answer. All right. So do you see, guys, how they prove to us Islam to be false again by themselves? This is a verse, this is a chapter will prove to us that as God is talking, God will say, I believe not in what you believe, and you will not believe in what I believe, and I will not believe in what you believe, and you will not believe in what I believe, and you will not believe in what I believe, and believe, and to your religion to have mine. What is that? What is the wisdom in that? What I learned from this amazing chapter of Allah, if this guy is Allah, what he just told me, nothing. If he is making a prophecy that the enemy of Muhammad will not believe in Islam, well, all of them later they believe in Islam because he forced them to. So what you choose from me is a clear proof and evidence that Muhammad is a false man. And by the way, additional proof of corruption in Quran, why you Muslims you add Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in the top of the chapter if it's not there? This is addition. Fabrication. And Al-Kafirun is one of my favorite funny verses or chapters in the Quran. Imagine a waiter, he come to you in the restaurant and he said to you, how I can help you, sir? You say to him, you need to learn. You see this guy in front of me? I want you to bring me food different from his food, because I eat not what he eat, and he do not do eat what I eat, because I know the eat what he eat, and he will never eat what I eat, because I don't eat what he eat, and he don't eat what I eat. He have his food, I have mine. Can't you tell that this is a very silly statement from somebody claimed to be God? The one here supposed to is talking is God. This is God talking. We got it. I worship not what you worship. What the point of repeating the whole thing? And what we learn from this? Nothing. We learned only that Muhammad is making a false prophecy because later he worship what they worship, and they worship what he worship. All of them, they converted to Islam. Muhammad is a false prophet, proven by this chapter you chose for us. Thank you very much. So are you going to call me back, Zahra? I called you, you did not answer. So do you see, guys, the hadith about the Dajjal prove Muhammad to be himself the Dajjal. If Muhammad is worried that people they might think that the Dajjal is Allah, Muhammad is confirming. We have somebody trying to call. Okay, he's a Muslim. Yes.
If your God is a man, can you?
This guy is like a pimple in the ass. Stupid idiot. If you go in the hadith, if we go back in the hadith itself is telling us a lot that the Messiah must be God. Why? Do you remember that this woman, she said that the false Messiah, he will claim to be his God? Did she say that? Guys, did you hear her saying that? It's recorded. Okay. If he is claiming to be the Messiah, how that will make him God unless the Messiah is God? Are you getting my point, guys? She said that this person, he is the false Messiah. As I said here, Al-Masih al-Dajjal is not the Antichrist. This is a false translation. In Islam, there's nothing called Antichrist. Zero. Nothing. This is a lie. His name is Al-Masih al-Dajjal. Dajjal in Arabic mean liar. The Messiah mean, you know what Messiah. So the Messiah, the liar. Why he is called the liar? Because this is a fake Messiah. He claimed to be the Messiah. We heard her saying that the false Messiah will claim to be God, but the fact he's just claiming to be Messiah. By claiming to be the Messiah, you claim to be God. Thank you very much. You just proved to me that Muhammad in this point, he believed that the Messiah is God. And this is in the stage where Muhammad was trying to be hypocrite to the Christians. Muhammad, for a certain time, he was trying to be Christian. When the Christian reject him, he reject them. Before that, Muhammad was trying to be a Jew. When the Jews reject him, he reject them too, and he decided to kill them both. In this moment, Muhammad is saying to them, be careful, you should know that the Messiah is not one-eyed, your Lord. Because the comparison have to be, it should be between the false Messiah and the real Messiah. People, does that make sense? If somebody says to you there is a fake Christian prince and a really Christian prince, why you are putting Allah in the middle? Isn't it weird? What the look of Allah and the eye of Allah have to do with this guy? This guy is claiming to be the real Messiah. So we should warn them about how the real Messiah look like and how the fake Messiah look like. If Allah is not a man, to compare between them is stupid. In fact, this hadith was speaking about the Lord, the Messiah. The scam Muhammad at that moment, he was a Christian Nasara, a cult leader, trying to convince the Nasara, I am like you. And this is why he compared between the false Messiah and the real Messiah. Yes, Zahra. I will give you 2 minutes, Zahra. Do you hear me?
No.
I will give you 2 minutes. I will give you 3 minutes. Here we go. The count started. Go ahead.
I don't need a
You do not need that. Okay, what do you want? So go ahead.
Regarding like you're talking about like why is it repeated?
What?
The verse, you said that the verse is repeated.
Yeah. What
the
about
reason
it?
is because as human beings, we learn by repetition.
Oh.
So the reason why I chose this verse, this chapter, was regarding like other faiths, talking about Muslims, like maybe they should become Christians. And even you were bragging like you made Indonesians become Christians. So this chapter is related to the subject because like our Creator says like that we should defend our religion.
Why you should defend the religion? Can't he defend his religion? Can't Allah defend his religion?
No, because it's directed to us. Like if someone comes to us and tries to tell us like, we should become Christians, then we're just gonna respectfully tell them no.
Okay.
This is your religion.
Guys, Zahra,
and
she
this is my
said,
religion.
Zahra, she said that the reason they repeat the same sentence, which is stupid, she said this is not because a human being, they cannot learn unless we repeat to them. But if this is the case, we should repeat in every chapter in the Quran. We should say the same term, the same way all over the Quran. So why only in this one it's coming this way? Secondly, why Muhammad says, I worship not what you worship, and you nor you worship what I worship, or you will worship, and later all of them they became worshiping what he worshiped. So Muhammad is a false prophet. He was saying, nor you will worship what I worship, nor I will worship what you worship, and later all of them they are worshiping one God. So Muhammad is a false man. He made a false prophecy. Go ahead, answer.
Like I told you before, this is directed to us. Like it was directed to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, what he should tell people that try to convince Muslims.
No, this is
because
not,
our Creator
hold on. But you are
is
talking,
all-knowing.
But this is
God
but
knows
this
the
is
future.
you will say to me. This is you will say to me, right? Okay. So you say to me, I worship not what you worship, and I am from Quraysh, and my name is Khalid bin Walid. And then later I convert to Islam. So this is a false prophecy. When Muhammad he said
But
that,
were they forced? None of the people were forced to become Muslims.
Hold on. No. We will show you. Okay, let us say they are not forced. This is even proven more to be horrible, because if he did not force them and they still convert to Islam, that's mean Muhammad here he made a lie. He said to them, you will not worship what I worship, and later they worship what he worshiped. He was talking to who? He was talking to Quraysh. And Quraysh, all of them became Muslims. So I don't worship what you worship, nor you worship what I worship. You will not worship what I worship, nor I will worship what you worship. And later all of them, they worship together the same God. So it's a false prophet, false God, false prophecy.
No, because this is still relatable. Until today, the Quran is relatable.
No, he was speaking.
Look
to
at
the
your chat,
Quraysh.
people telling me, praying for me to become a Christian. I will never become a Christian.
Let me ask you.
From the day I'm born to the day I'm dying, I'll be a Muslim.
Good for you. So you will have sex in the heaven with 70 men.
We don't have that.
What do you mean?
So I don't know what you're talking about.
How many men will sleep with you in heaven?
We don't have the men becoming that. We have other like Hur al-Ain.
Okay, so if I convert
and that's another
to Islam,
subject.
okay, Zahra, I want to explain to me. I don't mean to insult you. If I convert to Islam now, Allah promised me I will have 70 Zahra like you, or 72.
No.
How many Zahra I will have?
You know, you have a really disgusting way of debating. Like, if you're gonna debate, why can't you just be serious?
I am
It
serious.
shows your character.
Are you making fun of Allah words? Isn't it the Quran says Allah will promise them virgins in the
You're not
heaven?
gonna get me.
Why
You're
not?
gonna get like
Why
there's
not?
there's different creation. Our creator.
What
By the way,
what do you
just
mean? Okay, okay. What do you will go? Allah will put you in the disposal. What do you mean? I will not get you. I will get who?
our creator has created different creation.
Okay, well, no problem. No, no, it's you. What the different creation? Listen, you. When you go to heaven, how many husbands you will have?
Just one.
Okay, and the husband you have, how many?
The
women,
husband I have,
how many women he
I'm
will
married to. I'll be married in
have? Okay, no, hold
in
on,
paradise.
hold on. And he, how many women he will have?
Just one.
Where do you get this from? Are you lying?
The ones that are promised Hurul Ain.
Zahra, you are a liar. I challenge you in front of everybody. I'm listening. Show me where in the Quran or in the Hadith.
I just heard like the martyrs.
No.
I know the verses about the martyrs.
No.
I'm gonna get
you are a liar.
the creation of.
You are a liar. You are a liar. Certified.
I'm not a liar.
Okay,
you are the liar.
I'm going to give
you
you all the time you want.
You live by lying.
Okay, prove me wrong. Prove to me that you, as a Muslim woman and Muslim man, will have only one woman in the heaven. I am listening. Go ahead. Prove to me. You are a liar.
I don't have the specific hadith in front of me,
What
but
if I show you the hadith says that the Muslim man will have a lot of women in heaven?
that's for the martyrs.
What, for what? No, not for the martyr. Listen, Zahra, I don't have time for kids. Get lost. As you see, they have no answer. The reason repeating the verse because a human being will not understand until he repeat. Well, you don't understand until now. You will go, you are repeating the Quran for centuries. If I give you any verse in the Quran, you will say Allah knows best what he meant. Same time, if this is need repeat to understand, what about complicated issue? If such a silly chapter need to repeat so you might understand. I don't worship what you worship. This one we need to repeat it so we can understand. And again, you did not answer about the Quran making a false prophecy about those who don't worship what I worship, because later they worship what he worship, and Muhammad himself, he worship what they worship. He bowed down to the idols and he worshiped them. Now you said that a Muslim man, he will have one woman. You are a big fat liar, shame on you. But that according to Islam will take you to heaven, which mean according to Zakir Naik, brother, anyone remember what Zakir Naik, they asked him about the hur? They said to him, Indian women, she said to him, why the Muslim man will have 72 hur, and the Muslim woman, she will not have that. He said, brother sister, first of all, the word hur is a plural word, and it's possible to be male and female, which means according to the Quran, it doesn't say that hur is going to be for male or female. And your sister, in the heaven of Allah, you will have 70 hur too. So she will have 70 men to F her, which is absolutely false, because the Quran says that the word hur is about females. How we know that? Read carefully and love. Zakir Naik. Chapter 55, 56, chapter 55, verse number 74. It says, Lam yatmuthahun. In Arabic, the word noon, the letter noon here, is something we use only for female. It's called noonun nuswa, the noon of female. This is a letter we add at the end of a word to make it specifically, to make it clear that this is for females. And the word itself says yatmuthahun, which means they will bleed and lose their virginity. So the stupid Zakir Naik claim that this is not about female women who will be jailed inside their tents, who no genie and no human did have intercourse with them. If we change the translation, because every translator here will give you his own scam, look what the translation, the accurate translation say. This is the most accurate translation exist for this verse. wherein both of those maidens restraining their gallants upon their husbands, husbands, not wives, whom no man, no genie, it says in Arabic, لم يطمثهن إنس ولا جان. No man, no genie. What يطمثهن mean? Read with me carefully. Has opened their hymens with sexual intercourse before them. Now, how many women those women are? This women, she said, one man, one woman. You are a certified liar. Look what Muhammad said. We can show you tons of verses and hadith which is sahih, but let us take this one for fun. Sahih al-Bukhari, the scam of Sahih al-Bukhari. She said one man, one wife, the Prophet of Allah, and she said only for the murder. Yeah, right. For the first batch of people who will enter paradise will be glittering like a full moon, and the batch next to them, they will be glittering like a most brilliant star. And by the way, Muhammad, he made his mistake here. He think that the moon is more bright than a star. So the first batch, supposedly they are the more noble, but yet they are glittering like a moon. And the second batch, they are glittering like a star. Muhammad, he think the moon is more shiny than a star. And then he says, their heart will be like the heart of a single man, for there will be neither enmity or etc etc. And then he says, everyone will have two wives from the houris, who will be beautiful, pure and transparent. The marrow of the bones of their legs will be shown, and they will see the marrow of their inside their flesh. This is from the hur, but this is not the whole number. Let me show you the other hadith. Read carefully with me. Liar. Every Muslim man will have one woman, right? Hold on. Oh boy. Here the Hur al-Ain, they will sing for you. Look at this hadith, by the way. The Prophet of Allah said, whenever a woman harms her husband in this world, that without any do right, his wife among the Houris, many of them says, you must not harm him. May Allah destroy you. He is only passing guest for you. He is my husband. Leave my husband alone. Let us show more. Hold on. All right. Okay, hold on. Let us find some reference. One man, one woman. Muslims. I mean, can you find a Muslim is truthful, is honest? It doesn't matter. They are old, they are young, they are possessed. All right. Let us see. Let us see if we can find this one in. There is none among whom Allah will admit to paradise, but will marry him to 72 wives, 2 from the Houris and 70 from the inheritance of the people of hell, all whom have desirable front passages, and he will have a male member that will never become flaccid. So at least, and by the way, this is the lowest number. If we go to different hadith, it says, because the number change depend who you are. But the lowest Muslim, he will get that. The lowest Muslim. We will make carefully. At least of the people of heaven. At least of the people of heaven. Who is the least? Which means the bad Muslim. He will have, read carefully with me. This is not me talking, this is your prophet. He will have 80,000 little boys, servants, and 72 wives. This is the lowest reward, not the highest. He shall have a tent of pearl and cardamom set up for him. Do you see it? Now you can read like the rest of the stupid story here. So when they say to you, in the heaven, brother, we will have one wife only, this is not true, we will have 70, you will have a lot more. In different hadith actually it says 80,000. The heaven of Allah supposedly is 100 floor. Even the Quran says that in the heaven of Allah there will be fakihun, busy fakihun, doing busy stuff. What is the busy stuff? Let us see. This is the filthy religion of Islam. وَإِنَّ أَصْحَابَ الْجَنَّةِ الْيَوْمَ فِي شُغْلٍ فَاكِهُونَ, chapter 36 verse number 55. Okay, what they will be doing in that day. What does that mean? If you read a Muslim translation, it doesn't say anything. It's a lie. Let us go and see what they will be doing literally in that day. 36:55. They will be busy. Aha. Let us see what the Abdul will be busy. They will be deflowering Zahra. Do you see it, guys? What the Muslims are doing in the heaven of Allah, they are doing bang bang. In the Muslim translation for the Quran, they did not explain to us. They say they will be having fun, but the Quran speak about something else. They will be literally effing women, opening their private part which never been used before, brand new, deflowering virgins. And not only that, each time you sleep with the virgin, she become a virgin again. And if you don't believe me, we can show you the reference. You can go actually get my book Sex and Allah and you can read it. I have tons. Oh, the whole book is about sexuality in Islam. So this is how the Muslim, they lie to us loud and open, and they don't have a shame. They think the funny is, like when this woman, she said that, you know, as an example, the reason Allah he repeated because a human being will not learn unless we repeat. I mean, this is the most stupid answer. We have a book and we do not need to repeat. And what the point of repeating? Repeating will teach us. It's the same sentence. If I did not understand the first sentence, how I can understand the second sentence? It's the same sentence anyway. So the answer is proving the stupidity of this cult. Number two, when they lie about the look of Allah, and all of them, they believe that Allah have a hand, Allah have a foot, Allah have a leg, Allah have a face, Allah have 5 fingers, Allah have toes, Allah have a nose, Allah have eyes. Yet they say we don't believe in a man. Another lie. When they say nothing like Allah, but Allah he says he have fingers and he have hands. How he use hands and fingers if he is nothing like him? Hands and fingers is like hands. Fingers is like fingers. Foot is like foot. When Allah he used that words for himself, and the Muslim scholars agree that yes, Allah has hands. Why Muslims they lie? You can go right now and I can search in front of you in YouTube. Let us do that. You will find tons of videos how Allah look like? Do you see it? Watch this video. This is your Muslim cleric. How Allah look like? He said to you, yes, Allah have hands, real hands. He said Allah, he said he have hands. What I can say? I'm just saying to you what he said in the video. Zakir Naik, he said that. Didat, he said that. All your Muslims scam, they agree. Allah has a physical being. He is a physical being. My debate with all Muslim scholars, they agree. Dr. Nabil Bayekli, Dr. Rohi, all of them, not even one, they can refuse. And the funny, they said to me, yes, Allah have a leg, but do you think the leg of Allah is like yours? I mean, whose a stupid answer is that? As long as you have a leg, it's a leg. Well, the leg of the mosquito is not like my leg, but it's a leg. The reason it's called a leg because he walk with it. He don't fly with it. Allah has hands. Allah has hands, my friend. So how the look of how Allah's hands look like? He have 5 fingers. By the way, I found that the Muslims are flagging the videos of those guys who they are saying Allah have fingers. You remember? They flagged them. You believe it? Allah has hands, mouth, heels, fingers, shin, even shape. Do you see it? And the video is under the Deen of Islam, and this is your Sheikh is explaining. Allah has what? Allah has hands, mouth, heels, fingers, shin, even shape. And Allah is not a man. Who cares if he's a man or not? And why Allah have fingers? What he would do with them? He would collect boogers. Allah has a foot. Allah SWT has a foot. If you go to this guy, his video is flagged by Muslims. They are trying to take it down. Allah has a foot. Allah has body parts. They are very confused cult. They think their God is different, but the fact their God is just a shape. He is obviously, he is a physical being. Whatever he is, he's a lie. He doesn't exist. He have no spirit, but he have a body. Okay, that means he's dead. Because the spirit simply means the power of life. If you don't have a spirit within you, it's means you are a dead body. So never learn Islam from Muslims. They are certified in lying. They have no shame to lie. We just heard this woman saying that the Muslim women and Muslim men only will be having one man, one woman. Look like this woman, she is locking her door in her, and she do not know that the whole world now knows that Islam believe in many women in heaven. Already in earth you have 4, you idiot. In heaven you will have 1. You're a prophet in earth, he have 13 wives. Allah promised him to have the power of 4,000 men for sex. A Muslim man, he have the power of 40 men, 100 men, sorry. No, the Muslim man will have the power of 40, and the prophet, hold on. Yeah, the Muslim man will have the power of 100, and then the Muhammad, he have the power of 40 of people of heaven, which means he will have a power of 4,000. Anyway, thank you, Zahra, for calling. You just help us to expose your prophet. And you will notice always how fast they talk, so they will not give you a chance to get them busted. And remember, this verse always, you can use it, the one she chose for us to prove Islam to be right, is one of the most wonderful. I encourage every Christian actually to use this verse to expose Muhammad. There's no way that this verse is written by Allah if he is God, if he is a true God. There's no way God will say such a stupid silly stuff. which is a contradiction for what happened even later. All those he said to them, I worship not, and you worship not what I worship. Later they worship what he worship, and he himself he worship what they worship, and he bowed down to what they worship, and they bow down to what he worship. So it's a false prophecy of a false prophet, proving an empty word of an author. He's trying to make a rabbi music, saying nothing there. It's the same as many rabbi songs we hear in TV. There's nothing there. It's just a guy repeating the same thing. And by the way, this is all over the Quran. And she is right. Muslim, they will not understand unless you repeat. Actually, they don't understand if you repeat. But the point is to make them repeat, not to understand. Because I never saw a Muslim he understand what he is repeating. Especially they are repeating in a language they don't even speak. So how they can understand?